Part 117. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1161. The members of the Council of Elders are very familiar with the performance of the Trapped God Network, so they know that the biggest problem facing the Great Prophet currently is the Trapped God Network. As long as this problem is solved, no one will be able to kill him with the Great Prophet's ability. However, at this time, Qiu Jian, Xiao Wu, and Wang Mi had already used their ultimate killing move under the instruction of instructor Li Yingning. Even the other two children who had been left outside had already activated his skills and arrived. Seeing that the five people's attacks were about to fall on him, the Great Prophet finally sighed, and in desperation, used the trump card that he least wanted to use. Bang! With a loud bang, the body of the Great Prophet of the Space Ghost suddenly exploded, and before the attack of the five people arrived, that is to say, the Great Prophet self-destructed himself and was not killed by Qiu Jian and the others. As the Great Prophet self-destructed, those around him, whether they were cosmic ghosts or humans, were all swept away by the huge air wave. Fortunately, the Great Prophet did not really self-destruct this time. Otherwise, a creature as powerful as him would have self-destructed with all its strength. If so, it is estimated that no one in this hall will be able to survive. The Great Prophet only blew up his own body, and his consciousness, that is, his soul, escaped directly to the outside, because after the Great Prophet blew up his body, he felt that there was a body outside that was quite suitable for him. It is precisely because the Great Prophet's soul wants to escape that the self-destruction of his body will only blow away the people around him, because if the power self-destructs, his own soul will also be blown to pieces. Li Yingning was also thrown backward by the self-destruction of the Great Prophet, but when he was in the air, he directly grabbed the Qiu sword beside him, then threw his body towards the soul of the Great Prophet, shouting sternly. 1 o'clock direction, height 8, distance 25. Qiu Jian couldn't see the soul of the Great Prophet, so he didn't care about anything else and used the long sword in his hand to slash towards the coordinates mentioned by the instructor Li Yingning. Although the Great Prophet is now in a soul state, the instructor, as a devourer, is originally an expert in souls and consciousness, and the devourer's body still contains part of the genes of the cosmic ghost, so the Great Prophet's soul cannot escape at all. But the instructor's perception. The Great Prophet did not expect that after he entered the soul state, the human race could still feel his position. Although he could not understand the numbers the instructor said, he at least knew the direction in which Qiu Jian was thrown by Li Yingning. It's my own side. The Great Prophet still doesn't know that Li Yingning is a devourer, a creature originally created by their cosmic ghost, because in this universe, it was Xian Yuan, the man hidden in the universe, who created the race of devourers. The human race among the ghost clan. Therefore, Xian Yuan certainly did not describe all the abilities of the devourer race at the beginning. Therefore, in the eyes of the cosmic ghosts, the devourer race has no strength at all. At most, it can only serve as a scout, helping them search in the universe. Just traces of human race. Especially since the Great Prophet had not managed the affairs of the cosmic ghost clan much since the time when the cosmic ghost was created, he had never heard of the birth of devourer, and those cosmic ghosts had not communicated with the Great Seer. The Prophet mentioned it, probably because he felt that such a weak creature was not worth reporting to the Great Prophet. Seeing Qiu Jian's long sword slashing towards him, the Great Prophet had no other option, because he was in a soul state and his movement speed could not be increased. In desperation, he had no choice but to pounce on Qiu Jian's body. This Great Prophet of the cosmic ghost was originally planning to seize the clan member of his own race outside Xi, but now it seems that he is too late, so he has to do the next best thing and prepare to seize the sword of revenge. Although Qiu Jian is a human race, his body and the soul of the cosmic ghost will definitely not fit together. Fortunately, the Great Prophet can give up this body in the future and seize other cosmic ghosts, although this will have a great impact on his soul. Damage, but it's better than dying by Chiu-Jian's sword, right? The great prophet knows that although he is in a soul state and exists in the form of nothingness, this long sword covered with the power of destruction can still cause huge harm to him, and even destroy his soul. Brush. Chiu-Jian's long sword swept past the great prophet's soul. Because Chiu-Jian still couldn't see the great prophet's soul, he didn't know whether his sword hit the target. Therefore, with this sword after that, Chiu-Jian continued to swing his sword, slashing at the air in front of him. The great prophet's soul was directly divided into two by Chiu-Jian, and part of it was directly swallowed by the long sword. However, the soul body is different from the body, so the great prophet did not die, but his soul was severely injured. At this time, if he seizes Chiu-Jian's body, he probably won't be able to give up Chiu-Jian's body. If he seizes Chiu-Jian's body again, he will have to live with this human body forever. But at least this was considered alive, so the great prophet's broken soul did not hesitate, and still rushed towards Chiu-Jian's head, preparing to seize the body, but Chiu-Jian naturally knew nothing about it, and just slashed in front of him. And just when the broken soul of the great prophet rushed into Chiu-Jian's face, preparing to enter his brain, kill Chiu-Jian's consciousness, and seize Chiu-Jian's body, something happened to the great prophet Zero that terrified him. That is, Chiu-Jian's destructive power is not because of the long sword, but because he himself has the destructive power. Now Chiu-Jian's body is covered with a layer of destructive power, but because the destructive power covering Chiu-Jian's whole body is used for defense, it is not as strong as the destructive power on his long sword. If you don't look closely, you can't see it at all. However, this layer of defense has become a fatal factor for the great prophet who is preparing to seize the body. When his soul just came into contact with Chiu-Jian, it was immediately dissolved by Chiu-Jian's destructive power. And those destructive powers also issued a devouring power, making it difficult for the great prophet's soul to even break free. The great prophet never thought that he would still die here after giving up his body. At this time, the great prophet was full of resentment. He was a great prophet, why did he die? If he would die here, then his sense of crisis should have been clearer at the beginning, right? Of course, the great prophet could not imagine that the reason why he did not clearly feel his crisis was because of Li Yingning. Li Yingning was created by Xian Yuan according to the order of Dong Huangtai. Therefore, he was equivalent to the product of the great prophet of the human race after predicting the future, which would of course have an impact on the predictive ability of the great prophet of the cosmic ghost clan. Therefore, it can be said that this is a contest between the great prophet of the two races, and it is obvious that the great prophet of the human race is better. Although the great prophet of the two races has already begun to lay out, in the end, it seems that the great prophet of the cosmic ghost will take the lead. Once the cosmic ghost loses their great prophet, it will be difficult for them to win in the war with the human race. The great prophet of the cosmic ghost certainly knows this, but, now he has been absorbed by Chiu-Jian's destructive power with devouring attributes and cannot escape at all. This is because Chiu-Jian did not notice the current situation. The destructive power of the body protection is just naturally absorbing the soul of the great prophet. Although the soul of the great prophet is constantly absorbed into Chiu-Jian's body, Chiu-Jian is now busy chopping the air in front of him and did not notice the situation at all. Otherwise, if Chiu-Jian controlled the destructive power covering the surface of his body, the great prophet's soul would be completely devoured in an instant, leaving no trace. Knowing that he had no hope of escaping, the great prophet finally understood his situation, so the soul of the great prophet of the cosmic ghost suddenly exploded, just like his body, and exploded again. However, because it was the soul that exploded, even Chiu-Jian was not injured in this explosion, and the great prophet's soul explosion was not to kill Chiu-Jian to avenge himself. Of course, it was not simply for self-destruction, but to continue the inheritance of the great prophet of the cosmic ghost clan. Because the great prophet knew that without him, the cosmic ghost clan would not be the opponent of the human race, especially now. If it was in the outer universe, Anyway, after his death, the cosmic ghost would have another great prophet with his ability in a while, and he would not worry too much. But now the cosmic ghost is in the endless tower, and is in a state of war with the human race. There is no time to wait for the prophet who will replace him to appear and grow up. Humans will not give the cosmic ghost this time, and even the cosmic ghost itself will not give itself this time. Once it dies, the cosmic ghost without the great prophet will be torn apart. Under the situation that the main brain is also under threat, it may not take a few days for the former cosmic overlord, the cosmic ghost clan, to be completely wiped out. This is something that the great prophet of the cosmic ghost cannot accept. So the current self-explosion of this great prophet is to abandon most of his soul, retaining only a little bit of consciousness, and the prophetic inheritance of the cosmic ghost clan, and get rid of the control of the enemy sword. But in this way, this great prophet has absolutely no chance of surviving, and even the little consciousness he retains will soon dissipate, but in this way, at least the great prophet of the cosmic ghost can leave the prophetic inheritance of the cosmic ghost clan, helping the cosmic ghost clan to buy a lot of time. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1162. The prophet's inheritance with a trace of the great prophet's consciousness flew directly out of the hall. Because it has the momentum of self-destruction of the soul, the speed is not slow. The most important thing is that now this prophet's inheritance only has a trace of the great prophet's consciousness. Therefore, even Li Yingning did not discover that the soul of the great prophet had not been completely destroyed. Kill. Leave no one alive. Thinking that the great prophet had been completely killed, Li Yingning quickly turned his target to the cosmic ghosts in the hall. These cosmic ghosts were either members of the Council of Elders or senior members of the cosmic ghost clan, so Li Yingning did not have any of them. Plan to let it go. Xiao Wu and Shami San had already started killing before the instructor said these words. At this time, the elite guards outside had all rushed in, and the hall suddenly fell into a melee. Only now did the captains of the two elite guards know that when they fought with themselves, these human races did not explode with all their strength, because now they seemed to be unable to pose much threat to these human races at all. Of course, this is also related to the current terrain. Their battlefield before was in the corridor. In that narrow space, the 400 elite guards of the cosmic ghost were enough to fill the entire corridor. Xiao Wu and the others did not have many at all. Space. In the hall, there were less than 400 elite guards, which were very sparse and not enough to restrict Qiu Jian and the others' actions, especially now that they no longer needed to disguise themselves. Qiu Jian and the others naturally let go of all the guards. Strength. The frigate commander had also given an order to his subordinates to support the hall before, and then the commander rushed directly into the hall. Deblo originally wanted to rush into the hall, but, when he took a step and wanted to charge, he suddenly seemed to be frozen and stood still, and his eyes began to become stiff. It took a full minute for Deblo's eyes to return to normal. However, at this time, Deblo's eyes looked a little complicated. First he was happy, then he was confused, and in the end, he was even a little desperate. However, finally, Deblo's eyes finally became firm, and a stern look appeared on his face. He looked at the direction of the hall, and instead of preparing to go in, he turned around and left. The troops besieging Wangfeng were now in great confusion, because what happened in the command hall had been informed to them by the fleet commander, and he had also requested support from them. So now these cosmic ghost armies don't know what they should do before they get the exact order. The one who just sent the message for help was just the commander of the escort fleet. His order was quite different outside the headquarters. Authority, but now, with the great prophet and members of the Council of Elders, it is not his turn to give orders. It's just that now the great prophet has basically fallen, and the elders have no time to issue any orders. It's not that they can't take the time to say a few words in the communicator, but now they are not sure about the great prophet's situation, and even if the great prophet died, they would not dare to issue random orders in this situation. Should we let those armies focus on protecting the mastermind, or should we give priority to returning to protect our veterans? No member of the Council of Elders dared to make this decision on their own, and now that they were fighting the human race in the hall, there was certainly no time to hold a meeting for them to discuss it. Especially the previous incident with Li Yingning has made these elders suspicious of each other, because no one knows whether the other elders are the second Johnny. Even these elders did not dare to make a rash decision, let alone those cosmic ghost soldiers, but fortunately they had a large number, so they finally decided to divide the troops into two groups. They will continue to besiege this place in accordance with the order issued by the previous great prophet. The human race, and those outside who are unable to join the battle, go directly to the support command hall, and just protect the battlefields on both sides, so at least there will be no serious mistakes. The cosmic ghost didn't know what to do now, but Li Yingning didn't have such scruples. He took out the human race's communicator and briefly talked about what happened in the command hall, and also gave the detailed information about the main brain. After describing it for a while, he finally told Wang Feng directly that he didn't need to worry about this and would just go and destroy the mastermind. As long as Wang Feng can successfully destroy the mastermind, and they can successfully kill all the cosmic ghost elders, then this war with the cosmic ghost will basically be controlled by the human race, and victory is only a matter of time. Not only Wang Feng heard the instructor's words, but Lu Wanting, who was outside, also heard it. When she knew that in the cosmic ghost headquarters, because the great prophet's life and death were unknown, and the members of the Elder Council and those high-level officials had also entered the battle, now after it was already chaos, I couldn't help but feel excited, because in this case, Wang Feng's chances of success would increase a lot. Let's go in. Let's go in too. After Lu Wanting said something to Qingxun and Qian, she carefully piloted the invisible small fighter plane and flew towards the headquarters of Cosmic Ghost. When she passed through the energy shield that still covered the headquarters of Cosmic Ghost, she found that the defensive weapons did not. There was no reaction, so he speeded up with confidence. At this time, Wang Feng's speed of advancement suddenly began to increase. Li Yingning's words undoubtedly strengthened Wang Feng's confidence. Moreover, Wang Feng now knew the specific location of the main brain and the defense status there from Li Yingning's previous words, so he didn't need to save life energy to deal with the main brain. The main brain is in a closed space. This defense method may be quite useful for others, but it doesn't work much in front of Wang Feng, who can teleport. Moreover, Wang Feng now knows that the high-level members of the Cosmic Ghost are now basically all restrained by Li Yingning and Xiu Jian, so these Cosmic Ghost soldiers who come to stop him are estimated to be unable to do anything. So Wang Feng simply let go now, and even dared to use teleportation, but Wang Feng is still rushing down along the corridor, because the rest of the floor is still full of small fighters. After all, this is the defense method arranged by the Great Prophet before, and no cosmic ghost is going to change it now. So if Wang Feng dared to leave the corridor and enter the attack range of those small fighters would still open fire at full force immediately, without caring about his own people. But even if he was along the corridor, because he could use teleportation, Wang Feng's speed became several times faster, but Wang Feng still didn't dare to use teleportation too frequently, lest the universe ghost jump off the wall. In fact, the most effective way for the universe ghost to attack now is to use those small fighters to directly hit Wang Feng, which would cause a lot of trouble for Wang Feng and even block his progress. The Great Prophet had thought of this method before, but he hadn't had time to use it before. Wang Feng now speeded up his speed, one because he knew that Li Yingning and the others were buying time for him, and the other was that he had heard the words of the fleet commander on the communication channel of the universe ghost before. The fleet commander not only told the soldiers here what happened in the command hall and requested support, but also ordered all their universe fleets outside to come back for support at full speed. For the space ghost soldiers here, the fleet commander's words may not be so effective, but for those space fleets outside, this guy's words are equivalent to the highest order, and no fleet dares to disobey. Wang Feng had already learned about this situation in the memories of those space ghosts he killed, so Wang Feng understood that he could not delay time, and those fleets must be rushing back with all their strength. Although they can't come back for a while even if they are fast, and even if they come back, they can't enter the energy shield, but for Wang Feng and his team, this is not a good thing. At least when they leave, these space fleets may cause them a lot of trouble. And the sooner the main brain is destroyed, the sooner Wang Feng can settle down. This is his ultimate goal of coming here, especially now that the instructors may have killed the great prophet of the Space Ghost, and are now trying to kill a few more members of the elders of the Space Ghost. If the main brain is destroyed again, it will be difficult for the Space Ghost to stop the victory of the human race. Although Wang Feng knew that there were a large number of small fighters and elite guards on the floor where the main brain was located, he was not very worried about these guys. On the contrary, he felt that with the existence of those elite guards, his battle should be easier. Because of their existence, the small fighters in the air would have many more concerns. Those small fighters would never dare to use covering fire on the elite guards as before. Without the threat of small fighters, Wang Feng was not afraid of fighting on the ground. Even if the opponent had a large number of people, Wang Feng, who had the Xianyuan sword, was never afraid of fighting group battles and attrition wars. Moreover, Li Yingning also roughly talked about the strength of the elite guards of the universe ghosts. Basically, they were a little worse than the ordinary soldiers of the Hope Expeditionary Force, but among the universe ghosts, these soldiers were still the most elite. After all, the universe ghost is best at air combat. After nearly an hour of fierce fighting, Wang Feng finally entered the 51st floor and came to the real core area of the universe ghost. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1163. Starting from the 51st floor, there are not so many infantry on the ground, and the main attack force is composed of the elite guards. However, since the elite guards have only 12 squads, and 2 have been transferred and are now fighting with the instructors in the command hall, there are only 10 squads here, a total of 2,000 people. The main brain is located on the 55th floor, so it is the focus of the defense of the Cosmic Ghost clan, and the elite guards are naturally all concentrated there. Therefore, from the 51st to the 54th floor, there is only one elite guard on each floor, with a total of no more than 200 people. However, because there are other Cosmic Ghost infantry, Wang Feng is still not at ease. The only thing to be thankful for is that in this floor, Wang Feng still has teleportation, so he entered the floor to try it out, and the result is similar to what he imagined. The small fighters in the air, because of the concern for the elite guards, did not cover the bottom like before. In this way, Wang Feng was relieved, because the number of elite guards was small, so if they were in a narrow position like the stairwell, they could play a better advantage. Now that the small fighters did not dare to attack indiscriminately, Wang Feng decisively moved the battlefield to the floor. With a large space, Wang Feng's battle was smoother, because he could fully exert his speed, so after entering the 51st floor, Wang Feng's battle became easier. Taking this opportunity, Wang Feng fought a little longer on the 51st floor, because he wanted to recover some of his physical fatigue caused by long-term fighting. Although he still had some energy reserves, the physical fatigue was something that life energy could not dispel. During the battle, Wang Feng even had time to switch the Xianyuan sword into the form of a bow and arrow, and launched several attacks on those small fighters, making the pilots of the small fighters feel extremely depressed. They are basically just playing soy sauce now, because Wang Feng is surrounded by elite guards, and their beam cannons dare not fire at all. Moreover, There are so many small fighters on this floor that there is no space for them to hide, so Wang Feng can shoot many small fighters with a rain of flowers. But before receiving the order, even if they dare not fire at all, they can't leave here, and can only stay in the air as a target. Fortunately, the attack rhythm of the cosmic ghosts on the ground is very fast, so Wang Feng does not have much free time to attack those small fighters, so those small fighters are not damaged much. And these small fighters are not Wang Feng's main target, but he wants to try the power of bows and arrows. After all, bows and arrows are his favorite weapons. Because those elite guards are different from ordinary cosmic ghost soldiers, Wang Feng can easily recognize them, especially since they are the main force of the battle. Wang Feng naturally deliberately takes care of them more. Although Wang Feng tried to delay the battle on this level as much as possible in order to recover his fatigue, the 200 elite guards were not enough for Wang Feng to kill for long. After all, the strongest among them was only as strong as ordinary soldiers of the Hope Expeditionary Force, and their combat experience was not as good as those of his own soldiers. In addition, in order to prevent those small fighters from covering and shooting, Wang Feng could not kill all the elite guards, so after killing more than 100 elite guards of the Universe Ghost, Wang Feng began to show mercy to them and turned to slaughter those ordinary Universe Ghost soldiers. Since the Universe Ghosts were mainly attacked by the elite guards, those ordinary soldiers were not close to Wang Feng, and they were all on the periphery, separated by the elite guards in the middle. Although Wang Feng could break out and kill them among the ordinary Universe Ghost soldiers, he gave up the idea after trying it once. He must ensure that there are elite guards around him, otherwise, those small fighters in the air will collectively open fire. They just don't dare to accidentally hurt the elite guards. They have no scruples about ordinary space ghost soldiers. After all, the Order of the Elders has not been cancelled, so the casualties of ordinary ground troops are not in their consideration. What they have to do is to kill Wang Feng. After trying to be unable to escape the protection of the elite guards, Wang Feng changed his attack method, because he could not reach those ordinary soldiers now, and he could not kill all the Space Ghost elite guards who were desperately attacking him around him, so Wang Feng started to use long-range attacks again. Fortunately, after the Xianyuan sword was transformed into a longbow, it still had melee capabilities. The ferocious spikes on the bow were not for decoration. Although Wang Feng could not use these spikes to kill the elite guards now, it was okay to use them to resist their attacks. As a result, the casualties of the elite guards began to decrease significantly. Although there were only about 50 people left, more than 3/4 of them had been killed by Wang Feng, but at least the remaining 50 people had not continued to decrease for the time being. Regarding this situation, those members of the elite guard and even all the cosmic ghosts present knew what was going on. It was not that the elite guard were too strong, but because the human race stopped killing them, especially the pilots of the small fighter planes in the air. Officers, they were condescending and knew Wang Feng's intentions clearly, but now they couldn't change the situation until they got new orders, so they could only watch helplessly. Such a battle is undoubtedly comfortable for Wang Feng. Unfortunately, Wang Feng cannot continue like this forever, because his purpose is not to kill the cosmic ghosts, but to destroy the mastermind, and now the instructors and the others are still stalling for time, so Wang Feng quickly entered the next level. Before entering the next level, Wang Feng did not kill all the elite guards who had worked hard to protect him for a long time, because killing these guys had no substantial significance for Wang Feng. On the 52nd floor, Wang Feng did not delay for that long. He just wanted to accumulate life energy and accumulate enough energy to escape after finally destroying the master brain, so he exploded with all his strength and slaughtered a large number of cosmic ghosts. Then he came directly to the 5th floor, 13th floor. However, on the 53rd floor, Wang Feng suffered an unexpected blow. Since Wang Feng started to enter the floor again after the 51st floor, he teleported directly from the 52nd floor to the 5th floor. 13th floor. Just after entering the 53rd floor, Wang Feng followed his previous experience and dodged to the side, avoiding small fighters and attacks from the ground, and then came to the ground, ready to continue the close combat. But what Wang Feng could not imagine was that the small fighter plane that originally did not dare to fire because of concerns about the elite guards seemed to have a seizure this time, and did not care about the elite guards around Wang Feng at all. After Wang Feng came to the ground, and together they launched a covering fire with maximum firepower at Wang Feng's location. Wang Feng, who had never expected that a small fighter plane would actually do this, had no time to teleport out and was covered by beams of light all over the sky. Even the elite guards around Wang Feng were all torn into pieces in the violent energy explosion. Fragments. Although no one saw Wang Feng escaping, the small fighter planes in the air still did not relax. After covering the area where Wang Feng was, they quickly moved the location of the coverage attack. In just a few minutes, the 53rd floor was completely covered by the firepower of those small fighters. And while these small fighters were covering and shooting, countless small fighters were guarding all the entrances and exits on the 53rd floor, and their beam cannons were firing non-stop, blocking those entrances and exits. Even if Wang Feng could escape with his life in the first round of attacks, there was absolutely no way he could pass through these entrances and exits under such intensive firepower. For a time, the entire 53rd floor was filled with a large number of energy beams, and the ground troops of the cosmic ghosts inside, including 200 elite guards, were of course all torn apart by the violent energy. It is estimated that the survivors should be hundreds. There is no one left. At this time, Lu Wanting, who had entered the military zone, suddenly felt a pain in her heart, as if she had lost something most precious, and tears burst out without warning. Wind. Lu Wanting called softly, and then drove the invisible small fighter plane along the corridor of the military zone and began to fly rapidly downwards. On the 52nd and 54th floors, check every corner of the floors non-stop. If you find any traces of human race, don't have any scruples, fire immediately. On the 55th floor, a cosmic ghost stood outside the closed space where the mastermind was, staring closely at a large screen in front of him and giving orders. All the small fighters on the 53rd floor should immediately replenish their reserve energy. Once the energy fluctuation is reduced enough to use the life detector, they will immediately turn it on and search the entire floor. No corner can be spared. The elite guards did not show any resistance to the orders of this cosmic ghost, and they all carried them out obediently. They were not even dissatisfied with the fact that he had ignored the 200 elite guards of one of his own guards and directly issued the order to cover the shooting. And this cosmic ghost is actually Deblo, who was still outside the command hall door before. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1164. This Dabo Luo is still Dabo Luo, and has not been possessed by the Great Prophet, but he has fortunately obtained the Prophet inheritance of the Cosmic Ghost clan. Perhaps this guy has a relatively high IQ among the Cosmic Ghost clan, otherwise the Great Prophet would not have considered him as a target for possession before, but because the Great Prophet's soul was discovered by the instructor, this guy survived. Otherwise, the person who controls his body now would be the Great Prophet of the Cosmic Ghost clan. And his soul was of course devoured by the Great Prophet, especially after obtaining the inheritance of the Great Prophet, because part of the Great Prophet's consciousness was also absorbed by Dabo Luo, so Dabo Luo actually knew what happened before. Now Dabo Luo doesn't know whether he should be happy or nervous, because if he is possessed by the Great Prophet now, then he is naturally dead, and the crisis of the Cosmic Ghost clan in front of him has nothing to do with him. The one who should worry about this should be the Great Prophet who possessed him. Especially since the Great Prophet had been a Great Prophet for so long, he was much better at dealing with such things than a new rookie like himself. The hope that the Cosmic Ghost clan could defeat the human race was naturally much greater. So now, even though he knew that it was because of the human race that he was able to survive, Daburo did not have a trace of gratitude towards the human race in his heart. You know, the prestige of the Great Prophet among the cosmic ghosts was much stronger than that of the Great Prophet of any race. The Great Prophet had absolute control over the cosmic ghost clan. Therefore, Daburo had no resentment at all about the Great Prophet's previous attempt to seize his body, especially after obtaining part of the Great Prophet's inherited memory. He now knew that the threat of the human race had already existed, and the Great Prophet had begun to plan to destroy the human race a long time ago, but he did not succeed. Now, Daburo has become a Great Prophet, and because of the unique secret method in the Cosmic Ghost, he has now successfully let the elite guards know his identity and obtained the command of the elite guards. That's why those small fighters dared to ignore the existence of the elite guards and launched a full-scale attack on Wang Feng. The appearance of Dabo Luo put Wang Feng into an unprecedented crisis. It's not that Wang Feng is facing a fatal threat now. Since entering the mode, Wang Feng has almost been walking on the edge of death, so he doesn't care about his own death at all. But now, Wang Feng is still responsible for destroying the main brain and saving the human race. If he fails this time, it may not be so easy for the human race to enter the headquarters of the Universe Ghost again next time. They were able to successfully enter the headquarters of the Universe Ghost this time because of Wang Feng's previous actions and the strong support of the instructor. This method can never be replicated again. So this time can be said to be the last chance for the human race, and Wang Feng can't fail anyway. But under the fierce artillery fire before, Wang Feng has suffered a fatal blow. Wang Feng did not die, but now it's almost the same. Under the coverage of the energy beam just now, Wang Feng, who was unable to teleport, could only use the gust of wind to try to get out of the range of firepower coverage, but this method that saved his life before did not play a big role this time. Especially under Dabo Luo's order, the small fighters in the air did not care that there were still a large number of infantry on the ground. They directly opened fire and covered the entire 53rd floor, leaving no corner untouched. In addition, the entrances and exits of the elevators and stairwells were also blocked by small fighters, so Wang Feng had no place to hide. At this time, Wang Feng only had a head left, connected to his right shoulder and half of his arm, and the rest of his body had been torn apart by the previous covering shooting. Fortunately, Wang Feng's strength was strong enough, so he did not die now, but if there were no new changes, I am afraid that Wang Feng would still fall here in the end. Although Wang Feng is now in a corner and covered by the wreckage of some cosmic ghost infantry, he has not been discovered by the cosmic ghost, but that is only because, after the covering shooting just now, the energy fluctuations in the 53rd floor are very strong. At most 3 or 4 minutes, when these energy fluctuations disappear, the cosmic ghost will definitely search here again. At that time, Wang Feng will not be able to hide. But now Wang Feng has no way, because his body has been severely injured, so even if there is still a lot of life energy in his Xianyuan space, this time is not enough for him to complete the repair. If he had not left all the large amount of life energy he stored to the human defense fortress and those space battleships before, he could now consume them all at any cost to quickly heal his body. But if Wang Feng's body is to be restored with that little life energy now, it can be fully restored, but it will take at least 1 day. The cosmic ghost may leave Wang Feng 1 day to recover? Wang Feng lay quietly on the ground, with an indescribable feeling in his heart. He had basically completely lost his fighting power. He only had a head and half an arm. Even if an ordinary space ghost infantry came, he had no way to resist. Now the only weapon on him might be those 2 rows of teeth. Could it be that the human race is really no longer good? Wang Feng thought sadly in his heart that he could not do anything now, and the instructors, if the instructors had the ability to destroy the main brain, they would not have told him the location of the main brain in such detail just now, but would have directly destroyed the main brain. So the instructor's hope of destroying the main brain is probably not great, especially now that Wang Feng, who has rushed to the 53rd floor, is quite clear about the defense capabilities of the Space Ghost. He was able to get here mainly by teleporting. Without teleporting, Wang Feng would not have been able to kill here. Now even he himself has failed, and the instructors can be said to have no hope at all. Wang Feng tried to recover his body as quickly as possible, but even he himself did not have much hope. This time his injury was too serious. Even though he was already a peak level 11 warrior, he still could not bear it. He was lucky to be alive now. As time went by, the energy fluctuations gradually began to weaken, and Wang Feng had just recovered one arm at this time, which was the result of Wang Feng's increased repair efforts. At least now that a complete arm has been repaired, Wang Feng can summon the Xianyuan sword and use it, so he doesn't have to wait here to die. As for how many people he can kill before falling, it depends on his luck. At this time, Dabo Lugo was also concentrating on the situation on the 53rd floor, because no trace of any human race was found on the upper and lower floors of the 53rd floor, so Dabo Lugo judged that this human race was now on the 53rd floor. Dabo Lugo now regarded Wang Feng as the biggest threat to the cosmic ghost, so he focused all his attention on Wang Feng. As for the Zhuhui Hall, Dabo Lugo didn't pay attention to it at all. Because he just came from there, and he didn't call back the cosmic ghosts that rushed to support the command hall, which was considered to be a rescue of the command hall. As for the final outcome of them, it was not something he should care about now. Although no trace of the human race was found on the 52nd and 54th floors, Dabo Lugo did not take it lightly. According to his experience, the best result now is that the human race has died under the covering shooting just now, but it is also possible that he was just injured. Now they are taking advantage of the opportunity that the energy fluctuations have not dissipated and they cannot thoroughly search the 53rd floor. They are taking the time to recover. Once the energy fluctuations return to calm, when they are about to start a large search of the 53rd floor, it is estimated that the human will suddenly appear, either directly attacking the 53rd floor's own army, or directly entering the 54th floor and continuing to advance towards the position of the main brain. In Dabo Lugo's view, the latter possibility is obviously the greatest, because now the human race obviously cannot go back. The one closest to him is the main brain, which is the ultimate target of this human race. So Dapolo has now strengthened the defense of the 54th floor again. Except for the team of elite guards he left to protect him, all the others were sent to the 54th floor. Together with the ordinary guards of the cosmic ghosts, they have now filled up the 54th floor. And all the small fighters are in place on the 54th floor. Each small fighter carries 2 sets of energy tanks to replenish its consumption. Once Wang Feng enters the 54th floor, Apollo swears that even if all the cosmic ghosts on the 54th floor are buried with him, he will definitely stay there. Feeling the energy fluctuations that are about to subside, Wang Feng summoned the Xianyuan sword, held it with his only remaining arm, and waved it gently. Since he now has only one arm and a head, even if he uses the Xianyuan sword, he can only use the simplest slashing action, and the power has dropped significantly. Come on. The last battle. Wang Feng said softly, with endless regrets in his eyes. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1165. The energy fluctuations finally began to slowly return to calm. Wang Feng also knew that in about 2 or 3 minutes, he would be discovered by the army of cosmic ghosts, and his final battle was about to come. Just when Wang Feng thought that he would be discovered by the cosmic ghost after the energy fluctuations subsided, and when he was about to face his final battle, he suddenly discovered that the cosmic ghosts on this level had begun to evacuate. After bombing this floor, some infantrymen from the Space Ghost entered one after another. However, because the energy fluctuations in the floor were too strong, they only blocked all the entrances and exits on the floor. There were even small fighters in the air. The guard was to prevent Wang Feng from escaping. But now, all the space ghosts and fighter planes surrounding the entrance and exit have actually left. Even the small fighter planes on the floor have also left this floor, leaving only a dozen of them patrolling here for show. What's going on? Wang Fen did not feel happy that he had escaped danger. On the contrary, he had an unknown premonition in his heart. Because Wang Fen knew in his heart that it was impossible for the cosmic ghosts to evacuate here before determining their location. Now that they all leave, it can only explain one thing: someone appears in the nearby floors, causing those cosmic ghosts to evacuate. The ghost thought it was himself, so he gave up searching for himself on this level. It should be impossible for the instructors to be able to do this. Wang Fen knew before that they were helping him contain the cosmic ghost in the command hall, and were preparing to kill all the members of the Elder Council and the senior officials of the cosmic ghost, so now they simply unable to separate. What's more, the instructors and the others didn't know their current situation, so how could they come to the rescue in time? Then, Lu Wanting should be the only one who can do this. The small fighter plane she drives is invisible. In the past, although small fighters could not enter the military zone of the Space Ghost, they would be discovered once they entered. But now, within the military zone, he was in chaos for a long time. Almost all the attention of the cosmic ghost was attracted by him and the instructor. The troops of the cosmic ghost were mainly concentrated on himself and the instructor, and the rest were all defending the mastermind. So when Lu Wanting took the risk of flying a small fighter plane into the military zone, she was not discovered by the cosmic ghost. Moreover, Lu Wanting was also very smart. Just after entering the military zone, she asked Qingxun and Qianqian on the small fighter plane to kill a few losers. The single cosmic ghost, the communicator of the cosmic ghost. After obtaining the communicator of the cosmic ghost, Lu Wanting was of course informed of what happened at the cosmic ghost headquarters. When she found out, Wang Fen was ambushed by Deblo on the 53rd floor with insidious tricks, and now she did not know whether she was alive or dead. When I saw it, I immediately understood why I suddenly felt heartache just now. She was sure that Wang Fen was still alive, but she was also sure that Wang Feng's current situation must be quite bad. Therefore, Lu Wanting went directly down the corridor, taking advantage of the invisibility of this small fighter plane, and came directly to the 51st floor. Although it was clear all the way up, just after entering the 51st floor, Lu Wanting heard an alarm coming from the communicator of the cosmic ghost, because at this time, except for the 53rd floor, there was no way to start life due to the large energy fluctuations. In addition to the detector, from the 51st to the 55th floor, the life detector has been monitoring the fluctuations of human life energy. Although Lu Wanting's small fighter plane was invisible, it could not block the detection signals of the life detectors located in the core area of Cosmic Ghost, and was discovered directly. However, when she heard the voice coming from the communicator, Lu Wanting not only did not feel frustrated or scared, but her eyes lit up, as if she had thought of some good method. Because the Cosmic Ghost who has been monitoring the life detector reported this in the communicator. Alert! A trace of a human race was found on the 51st floor. I suspect it is that human race. A human race? When Lu Wanting heard this alarm, she just thought about it for a moment and understood why. It must be that the life detector of the Cosmic Ghost was specially modified, only for the human race, and the strength of its detection signal was also strengthened. So even small fighter planes cannot block the detection of this life detector. However, Qingxun and Qianqian, two guys who also have life, were not detected by this life detector. This is naturally because they are zombie-like humans, and their life forms and life fluctuations have changed greatly. Therefore, their life fluctuations are not included in this life detector, and of course they will be ignored directly. Feng is on the 51st floor. The radar system of the small fighter plane can find him. He must be seriously injured. You fly the small fighter plane to rescue him. I will lure away these cosmic ghosts. Without any hesitation, a rescue plan took shape directly in Lu Wanting's mind. She quickly said to Qingxun and Qianqian, and then opened the hatch of the small fighter plane. Ting ting. It's too dangerous. Qian immediately grabbed Lu Wanting. What would you do if Qingxun was there? Lu Wanting looked at Qian and asked. Qian was stunned for a moment, and then looked at Qingxun. The love between her and Qingxun had spread almost throughout the human race. Although in this period when she might be alive today but not know whether she is alive tomorrow, love has almost been eliminated. All humans are abandoned, but this does not prevent them from yearning for love. Especially when Qingxun refused the potion given to him by Wang Feng without hesitation in order to be with Qian, and would rather be transformed into a zombie than stay with Qian. If it were placed before the end of the world, he would definitely have filmed it into a movie and will make countless innocent girls cry. Qian had no doubt that if it was Wang Feng on the 53rd floor, she would definitely make the same choice as Lu Wanting, so she hesitated and looked at Qingxun. Don't think about it. Whether it's based on my personal feelings or the overall situation, I have to do it. Lu Wanting was anxious because she had no time to delay now, so she immediately said. You also heard it in the communicator just now. The instructors and the others are currently fighting the cosmic ghost in that command hall, and the madman's target is the mastermind of the cosmic ghost. This shows that the mastermind should have some kind of strange defense. Only a madman can destroy it. Otherwise, the instructors and the others would not just fight in the command hall. Not even the third child went to help Feng. If Feng dies, not only will our visit this time be in vain, but we may also be wiped out. Once we all die here, the human race will, let go. Let me go. Remember, you must rescue Feng, let him destroy the mastermind. Qian silently let go of Lu Wanting's hand and watched her jump out of the small fighter plane and fly to the next floor, acting as if she wanted to escape. Goodbye. Ting ting. Qian said softly. She didn't say anything to tell Lu Wanting to be careful or take care of herself, because everyone knew that the possibility of Lu Wanting surviving after leaving was infinitely close to zero. From the information they got from the communicator, it seemed that the cosmic ghost must kill Wang Feng quickly. Their determination can be seen from the fact that they are not willing to bury countless ground troops with him. Although Lu Wanting has reached the level of a 10th level creature and can fly, she is not good at fighting after all, because Wang Feng rarely lets her enter the battlefield. No one can say anything about this. For the sake of the human race, Wang Feng would have to go through life and death. Shouldn't he be allowed to have some preferential treatment for his woman? No one has stipulated that the leader of a race must send all his family members to the battlefield and shed their blood for their race. How can you expect a person who doesn't even protect his own family to protect a race? Stop dreaming, everyone has selfishness, it's just that some people hide it better for their own purposes. So now Lu Wanting's combat effectiveness can be said to be at most the same as that of the Hope Expeditionary Force. She does not have the combat effectiveness of Wang Feng and the instructors. Now she is alone in trouble, especially now that she is regarded as Wang Feng and will be subject to the highest level of cosmic ghost. The siege. If Lu Wanting can still survive in this way, then this is writing a novel. Qingxun also looked at Lu Wanting's disappearing back, sighed softly, then closed the cabin cover and started the small fighter. Now Lu Wanting has left the small fighter plane, so the small fighter plane has once again escaped the detection of the cosmic ghost and disappeared from their sight and detection system again. However, Qingxun and Qian are both zombie-turned-humans and cannot use their own hair, so they can only reluctantly fly small fighters along the corridor toward the 53rd floor. And because of the previous alarm, a large number of small fighter planes from the Space Ghost are now pouring out through the corridor, making it even more difficult for Qingxun to enter the next floor through the corridor. No matter what. Fight. Qingxun looked back at Qian, who nodded vigorously, then came behind Qingxun and hugged him gently from behind. Qingxun gritted his teeth, piloted the fighter plane, and flew towards the large number of small fighter planes that came out of the corridor to chase Wang Feng. He no longer had any scruples. Even if he died, at least he was now with their lovers together. They are obviously much happier than Lu Wanting, who is alone and tempting her enemies. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1166. Fortunately, although the small fighter plane driven by Qingxun could only perform the most basic flight operations, it was lucky enough to successfully enter the 53rd floor amidst the roar of so many small fighter planes. After arriving at the 53rd floor, Wang Feng felt the approach of the small fighter plane. After Wang Feng felt the small fighter plane approaching him, he immediately took out the communicator placed in Xianyuan space, and with the signal tracking of the communicator, Qingxun and the others successfully found Wang Feng. When the small fighter plane came to the top of Wang Feng in stealth, Wang Feng wanted to teleport directly, but he didn't expect that because of his serious injuries, he couldn't even teleport, and Qian and Qingxun didn't dare to walk out of the small fighter plane, and even didn't dare to open the hatch. Because opening the hatch would expose the cockpit of the small fighter plane. Although the cosmic ghost has discovered Wang Feng's traces, it still left a few small fighter planes here for patrol. Once the hatch is opened, they will definitely be discovered. Qingxun and the others were not afraid of danger, but if they were exposed now, Lu Wanting would be sacrificed in vain, and if they did not move, Wang Feng himself had no ability to come up, so it was not a good idea to continue the stalemate. Lu Wanting would be exposed sooner or later. Although her camouflage combat uniform was the same as Wang Feng's, and they both had long hair, the cosmic ghosts might not be able to tell who was who for a while, but Lu Wanting could not hold out for long in the siege of the cosmic ghosts. Even the cosmic ghosts did not have to wait until they really killed or captured Lu Wanting. As long as they fought with Lu Wanting, they would immediately find that the two human races were not the same person. Whether it was the fighting style, weapons, or even their own strength, Lu Wanting and Wang Feng were completely different. Perhaps those cosmic ghosts fighting with Lu Wanting would not notice anything, but Dabo Luo, who was watching the surveillance, would definitely find clues. After hearing that traces of the human race were found on the 51st floor, Dabo Luo had a moment of doubt. He could not imagine that the human race would suddenly appear on the 51st floor. He had not found any traces of him on the 52nd floor before. How did he get to the 51st floor after crossing the 52nd floor? And in Dabo Luo's opinion, it seems that the human race should not give up so easily, because after discovering the traces of this human race ran directly to the 50th floor. Did he think that he could not break through to the location of the main brain, so he started to run for his life? But no matter what, this human race must stay. Dabo Luo, who has obtained the memory and inheritance of the great prophet, knows that this guy is the biggest threat to their universe ghost clan, so he must stay at all costs and cannot leave him room for breathing, otherwise he will definitely come back. As long as this human is alive, the hidden danger of the cosmic ghost clan will exist. Now is the best time to kill him. If he runs out of his headquarters, it will be difficult to find a chance to kill him in the future. After all, this human has mastered the space power, and there was a record of one person challenging his entire space fleet. So Daburo did not hesitate for long, and directly ordered all the combatants, whether small fighters or ground troops, to chase the human. No matter what the cost, they must kill him, and don't let him live. Daburo knew that this human had space power, and it was a foolish dream to want to capture him alive. So just kill him directly and don't give him any chance to turn the tables. Therefore, there are only a few small fighters patrolling on each floor now, in order to prevent Wang Feng from making a comeback. With these small fighters, no matter which floor he runs to, he will be discovered by them immediately. However, these small fighters brought a big problem to Qingxun. If Lu Wanting was the one driving the small fighter, she could directly kill these small fighters, but Qingxun couldn't. He didn't awaken the innate ability of the human race, so he could only fly the small fighter for the simplest flight. Wang Feng felt that the small fighter was above him, but he didn't have the ability to enter the small fighter. He couldn't help but feel anxious, and he also thought that Lu Wanting should not be in the small fighter now, otherwise, this situation would not be a problem for Lu Wanting at all. There is an emergency exit under the small fighter. As long as the small fighter is parked directly above him, and then the emergency exit is opened, he can pull himself onto the fighter, but now the small fighter has no movement, which can only mean one thing: Lu Wanting is not in the small fighter. Thinking of the actions of those cosmic ghosts before, Wang Feng could naturally guess what Lu Wanting did, and only in this way could those cosmic ghosts leave here. Thinking of Lu Wanting luring the enemy alone, Wang Feng was very anxious, but now he only had one arm left, and he couldn't do anything. He couldn't use this arm to crawl over to support Lu Wanting, right? Not to mention that he didn't dare to use the communicator to tell Qingxun the location of the emergency exit under the small fighter plane. Even if he could tell them, Qingxun couldn't open it because it had to be controlled by hair. Holding the Xianyuan sword tightly, Wang Feng felt great hatred in his heart. For the first time since the end of the world, he felt this sense of powerlessness deep in his heart. He originally thought he could save the human race, but now he discovered that, let alone saving the human race, not only can he not even be able to protect his own woman, he has to rely on his own woman to protect him. Repair it? Fix it quickly. Looking at his body that was slowly repairing, Wang Feng cursed fiercely, but he was a human after all, not a devourer. Even if he was a devourer, it would definitely not be possible to repair his entire body in a short time. Wang Feng, who was extremely anxious in his heart, was desperately trying to mobilize the life energy in his body to restore his body, and was thinking of countermeasures quickly. But the problem was that Lu Wanting had lured the cosmic ghost away. Even if he was about to, if you can recover your body, it may be too late to rush over. According to Lu Wanting's skills, once she is caught up by the cosmic ghost, she may not be able to hold on for even a minute before she falls. And in 1 minute, for Wang Feng now, even a small fighter plane cannot get in. Ah! Wang Feng suddenly raised his head to the sky and roared, not caring that his voice would reveal his position. Anyway, he was no different now. If he could expose himself to reduce Lu Wanting's pursuers, Wang Feng felt that it would be a favor to Lu Wanting. An aid. Grass. Hearing Wang Feng's roar, Qingxun in the small fighter plane was furious. He was not angry because of Wang Feng's roar, but because he felt useless. Lu Wanting left the small fighter plane and attracted all the attention of the cosmic ghost. Just to let him rescue Wang Feng. Although she saw Wang Feng now, she couldn't save him. Now Qingxun naturally saw Wang Feng's miserable state, and could naturally think of what a tragic battle Wang Feng had gone through. However, he does not have the innate ability to awaken the human race at all, and cannot freely operate small fighters. And precisely for this reason, he is not very familiar with everything in small fighters. Never mind. Damn it! Qingxun shouted loudly, then pulled out the dagger on his body and pointed it at the bottom of the small fighter plane. He was going to break open the belly of the small fighter plane and pull Wang Feng in. At this time, Wang Feng, who was roaring in the sky, suddenly felt a strange energy flowing out of the Xianyuan sword, and then his body's repair speed suddenly accelerated. Although it seemed that it would take a long time to repair the whole body. Time, however, is already a world of difference compared to the previous speed. What surprised Wang Feng even more was that he felt that he seemed to be able to use teleportation. Without any hesitation, he directly launched the teleportation. Unexpectedly, he actually entered the small fighter plane. At this time, it happened to be the moment when Qingxun stabbed downwards with the dagger. Seeing Wang Feng appear directly in front of him, Qin Xun stopped his hand abruptly and broke into a cold sweat. Quick! Carry me to the console. Wang Feng spoke directly as if he didn't even see the dagger on his head. Qin Xun immediately threw the dagger aside, then grabbed Wang Feng's shoulders, lifted him up, and held him in front of the console of the small fighter plane. Fortunately, after awakening his innate skills, the human hair became extremely tough, even before even the coverage shot could not reduce Wang Feng's hair loss much. Wang Feng directly launched the small fighter plane, bypassing the small fighters that started searching because of Wang Feng's previous shouts, and flew directly out of the 53rd floor. It seems that because of the strange energy in the Xianyuan sword, although Wang Feng is now among the small fighters, he has not been discovered by the life detector of the cosmic ghost. Therefore, although Wang Feng's shouts were heard before, but those cosmic ghosts did not dare to report it rashly without confirmation. Where are you going? Seeing Wang Feng flying up in a small fighter plane after leaving the 53rd floor, Qin Xun couldn't help but be stunned, and then asked. I'm going to save Ting Ting. Wang Feng still controlled the small fighter plane and flew upward. Brother Feng. Do you want Ting Ting to die in vain? Qian, who had been standing aside silently, suddenly asked at this moment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzu. Chapter 1167. Hearing Qinqin's words, the small fighter suddenly paused. Qinxun also looked at Qian and kept signaling her with his eyes, but Qian ignored her and continued. I am also a woman. Although I may not look the same now, I know Ting Ting. She has always been under your protection, from the beginning of the end of the world to today. Perhaps you think it is natural for you to take care of your own woman, and there is nothing wrong with it, but don't forget that Ting Ting was once the leader of a camp. She also has her own pride, although she has never revealed herself for the sake of the Hope Base. Just silently helping you manage the base, but this does not mean that she can only help you manage the base. Now, Ting Ting has finally found her true value. She thinks she should stand up and save her man, so that her man can rewrite the fate of mankind. But what about you? You were just saved and you didn't think about how to complete Ting Ting's life. Ting's wish was to waste the opportunity she had given her life for. We all know that even if we rush over now, it will definitely be too late. Although I don't hope, but now, Ting Ting. Having said this, Qinqin's face was filled with sadness, but she immediately raised her head and looked at Wang Feng. You should do what you should do now. For Ting Ting and all human beings, only if you fulfill Ting Ting's wish can her previous actions not be in vain. The last thing Ting Ting said before leaving was, we must rescue Feng and let him destroy the mastermind. Qian patted Wang Feng's shoulder gently. I have heard what she said. As for what to do, you can decide for yourself. However, I hope you will not waste Ting Ting's time. Son of a bitch. A roar burst out from Wang Feng's throat. His only straight hand was clenched into a fist, shaking constantly, but in the end, he turned the small fighter plane around and rushed downwards. Qian was right. At this time, although Lu Wanting had not yet died, she was already surrounded by cosmic ghosts. Even if Wang Feng and the others came now, it would be too late. However, the cosmic ghosts surrounding Lu Wanting did not take action immediately. They seemed to be waiting for some order. The first time these cosmic ghosts came into contact with Lu Wanting, Deblo, who had been staring at the screen, felt something was wrong, because this human race seemed different from the one just now, although in the eyes of the cosmic ghosts, they could not tell the difference. There was no difference in the appearance of the human race, but he still saw that Lu Wanting and Wang Feng did not seem to be the same person. So Admiral Deblo changed the killing order he had issued before, and first asked 2 cosmic ghost infantry to go up and try it. As a result, Deblo was completely confirmed that this human race was not the one they had just surrounded and killed. Human race. Although the two cosmic ghosts who went up were killed by Lu Wanting in a short time, it was obvious that Lu Wanting's fighting style was completely different from Wang Feng, especially the dagger in Lu Wanting's hand, which was completely different from the Xianyuan sword. Just not on the same level. Through the test just now, Deblo knew that if he wanted to kill this human race, he basically wouldn't have to expend too much effort, but although it was easy to kill her, where was the human race they were surrounding and killing before? Gone. Is there anything unusual happening over there? If anything is wrong, report it immediately. Deblo immediately thought of the 53rd floor, and immediately contacted the small fighter pilot who was staying there. Report. No human race found. The cosmic ghost who answered him seemed hesitant, but finally said. We seem to have heard a human cry before, but we didn't find anyone, so. Did you all hear that? Deblo's voice immediately became stern. Report. We all heard it? Deblo's tone made the voice of the cosmic ghost immediately become firm, because Deblo was now the great prophet, so these cosmic ghosts did not dare to deceive him. Asshole! Deblo punched the console in front of him heavily and cursed fiercely. We were deceived. We left some people behind to capture the human race. All the others immediately returned to the 54th floor and searched for traces of the human race on all floors, including those above the 54th floor. There are probably many of them who have invaded our headquarters. Of course Deblo now knows that the human race that appeared before was not the one they wanted to kill before, and now he also knows another thing, that is, the human race definitely has a way to enter his own without anyone noticing. Headquarters, otherwise, why would that human race suddenly appear in the area below the 50th floor inexplicably? Deblo suddenly felt a sense of crisis now, because he didn't know how the human race entered his headquarters, and how many of their people came in. How many are as powerful as the human race at the beginning? In fact, Deblo's current decision should be considered correct. He withdrew all his troops, leaving only a small part to capture Lu Wanting alive. However, in terms of time, it was too late. After Qinqin's previous remarks, Wang Feng has changed his mind now, because he also knows that Qian is right. Whether they are willing to admit it or not, they can't save Lu Wanting now, so for now, continuing with their previous goal, destroying the main brain is the most correct decision. So Wang Feng and his team have now entered the 15th floor. Because they all went to chase Lu Wanting, there were not many cosmic ghosts defending the 14th floor. In addition, Wang Feng's life fluctuations are not within the detection range of the life detector designed by the cosmic ghost specifically for the human race. Therefore, when Wang Feng and his team passed the 14th floor, it didn't take much trouble, and they were not detected by the cosmic ghost. However, although Wang Feng and his team have now come to the 15th floor, they did not dare to get too close to the closed space where the main brain is located. The floor of the 15th floor is quite high, almost nearly 100 meters, and the main body of the main brain is in the center of this huge space. It is a room made of metal with an area of about 500 or 600 square meters, and now it is completely closed on all sides, and the entrance cannot be seen at all. Wang Feng stopped the small fighter plane far away from the central area, because he didn't know whether there were any mechanisms around the room. Looking at the room in the center of the building, Wang Feng finally understood why the instructor asked him to come here to destroy the main brain. This kind of fully enclosed space can only be broken through by teleportation. Although he didn't know what material this metal room was made of, it would not be so easy to open an entrance with external force. However, Wang Feng still hasn't recovered his body. Although his arms have been fully recovered, his body has not recovered to the waist. Wang Feng has even taken out a large part of the energy stored in the small fighter plane to restore his body, but this speed can no longer be improved. Wang Feng is very anxious now. If he has the peak combat power now and his body is intact, he can directly drive the small fighter plane and then teleport directly to the space where the main brain is. the defensive cosmic ghosts below can't stop him at all. Especially since Lu Wanting's life and death are uncertain. If he can destroy the main brain now, maybe he can give Lu Wanting a glimmer of hope. But now Wang Feng doesn't dare to take risks. Although he can now launch teleportation and has no problem driving a fighter, his combat power is only 1/10 of his peak period, especially now that his body is only the upper body. Once he enters that closed space, he will have no spare energy to deal with any situation. So no matter how anxious he is, Wang Feng can only suppress his emotions and wait for his body to recover. As for Lu Wanting, Wang Feng doesn't dare to think about her now. This may be the only chance for the human race to defeat the cosmic ghost. Wang Feng must seize it. Whether it is for Lu Wanting's last words or for the entire human race, Wang Feng can only be patient now. Patience. Patience again. Looking at Wang Feng's trembling body and eyes full of tears, Qin Xun sighed, then patted his shoulder and said, "Your decision is right, although this choice is a bit cruel for you, and I don't even know if I can do the same as you if we exchange roles, but, you really have to do it." Qin Xun did not comfort Wang Feng, saying that Lu Wanting might not die, and that they would meet again after Wang Feng destroyed the main brain and left here, because Qin Xun knew that this hope basically did not exist. Wang Feng's understanding of the cosmic ghost and Lu Wanting far exceeded Qin Xun, so Wang Feng was quite clear about the strength comparison between the two sides. In fact, even Wang Feng himself did not believe in the hope he had in his heart, but he was forcing himself to accept it. But now Lu Wanting is really alive, not because of her good luck or sudden explosion of combat power, but because of Dabo Luo's order. After knowing that he was deceived and got the wrong target, Dabo Luo ordered to capture Lu Wanting alive and send her to him immediately. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1168. Dapolo is not very familiar with humans. After all, he has never had contact with humans, and he has never been to the battlefield. He is only responsible for checking the fleets that return to the headquarters. To put it bluntly, he is almost the same as the security guard at the gate of the community, and basically has no status. However, because he has obtained part of the Great Prophet's memory, Dapolo's understanding of the human race can be said to be one of the best among the cosmic ghosts. After all, the Great Prophet has regarded the human race as his biggest enemy for so many years. How could he have less research on the human race? And Dapolo now orders to capture Lu Wanting alive instead of killing her directly, in order to use her to threaten the previous human race, because the reason why this human race was exposed is definitely because they want to cover up the first person who appeared, so these two people must be quite familiar people. In the Great Prophet's memory, Dapolo found a noun called hostage, which does not exist in the dictionary of cosmic ghosts, and they have never relied on this method to conquer other races. If the human being surrounded by them had a close relationship with the mysteriously disappeared human being, they seemed to be able to use this human being as a means of defense. At least in the memory of the Great Prophet, he regarded this as a preferred method. It's just that the Great Prophet had no chance to catch any human being before, so there was no chance to use this method at all. Now, Dapolo is ready to try whether the Great Prophet's method is effective. In addition, although the person who appeared first and successfully broke through to the floor just 2 floors away from the main brain, and they tried to kill him at the cost of a large number of their own people's lives, disappeared, but Dapolo can now basically confirm that the person is not dead, and may even be hiding on the floor where he is now, ready to destroy the main brain. Otherwise, the human being they caught would not have needed to show up, and they would not have had the opportunity to find her. After watching the video twice, Dapolo can basically confirm that the human being who suddenly appeared was exposing himself just to attract their attention. In other words, although their previous covering shooting did not kill the human race, it must have caused him some damage, so the human race had to come out to divert their attention. It was a pity that he was fooled before and did not seize the opportunity to completely kill the human race. Otherwise, if he ignored the energy fluctuations at that time and directly carried out one or two more covering shootings, perhaps the hidden dangers of the cosmic ghost race would be eliminated. But there is no use regretting now. Dabo Lugo knows that the human race must no longer be on the 53rd floor. As for whether he is on the 54th or 55th floor, Dabo Lugo does not know, because their life detector has not found anything so far. However, since the human race entered their headquarters, accidents have occurred frequently, so Dabo Lugo does not trust their instruments now, but fortunately, the cosmic ghost infantry and small fighters that went to capture Lu Wanting before have returned to the 52nd, 53rd, 54th and the floor where they are to defend, so now Dabo Lugo is a little confident. Although he saw more and more cosmic ghosts below, Wang Feng still did not make any moves, and he also suppressed his life fluctuations to the lowest level. Although he only had half of his body now, he would not be captured by the life detector, but Wang Feng did not know that the life detector of the cosmic ghost was specifically for the human race. Qingxun told Wang Feng that when he entered the 51st floor, the cosmic ghost only found Lu Wanting's life signal, and did not find his Enkinkians, but Wang Feng still felt that he should be more careful. Now Wang Feng has temporarily put Lu Wanting's matter aside. Regardless of whether she has died or not, he will wait until the main brain of the cosmic ghost is destroyed before talking about it. If he can confirm that Lu Wanting is dead after destroying the main brain, then Wang Feng does not plan to leave the headquarters of the cosmic ghost. He will kill here until he is unable to fight. At least, he will die with Lu Wanting. Qingxun and Qian naturally didn't know what Wang Feng was thinking. They were just constantly monitoring the movements of the cosmic ghosts below. However, soon, Qingxun and Qinqian's eyes froze, and then they looked at each other, seeming to be a little hesitant. Because they saw that in a small fighter plane that had just entered the 55th floor, there was a tied person who was pushed in front of the leader who looked like the cosmic ghost, and this person was of course Lu Wanting. Looking back at Wang Feng, Qingxun was very entangled in his heart. He didn't know whether to tell Wang Feng about this situation, because now Wang Feng's body has just been repaired to the waist, and his legs are still intact. If he saw Lu Wanting, Qingxun felt that Wang Feng would definitely not be able to control himself and would definitely rush down to rescue him. Qian was able to make Wang Feng give up the idea of saving Lu Wanting because at that time they all thought that even if they went over, it would be too late, and what Qian said was indeed reasonable. Destroying the main brain was their top priority. But now, Lu Wanting is below. If this state remains and Lu Wanting is not injured, Wang Feng may be able to wait for the moment when he fully recovers. But if the cosmic ghost attacks Lu Wanting, Qingxun is almost certain that Wang Feng will definitely rush down and will not care about the damn mastermind anymore. Because if it were Qingxun, he would make the same choice. No one can look at his lover and remain indifferent, unless he thinks his life is more important than anyone else. But Wang Feng is definitely not such a person. This point, almost everyone in the Hope Expeditionary Force can confirm that Wang Feng has been through life and death for so many years. If it weren't for the people around him, he wouldn't have had to fight so hard. Even with Lu Wanting, it's all about gathering less and leaving more. Qian also looked at Qingxun, then sighed softly, and then nodded, meaning to ask Qingxun to tell Wang Feng what happened next. As for how to choose, it depends on Wang Feng himself, the fate of mankind. Now it's just in Wang Feng's thoughts. Human. Where are your people? Looking at Lu Wanting being pushed back in front of him, Deblo stood behind a row of elite guards and asked. Although he had seen that Lu Wanting's strength was basically the same as that of an elite guard, he still seemed cautious because the human race brought her there were just too many surprises for him. He doesn't want to die in the hands of this human being because of his carelessness. After all, his identity is now the great prophet of the universe Ghost. With a different identity, the way of doing things will naturally be different. Now Deblo is obviously better than before. Be a lot more cautious. He had just received the prophet inheritance from the Cosmic Ghost clan, and he wanted to enjoy more of the glory that this distinguished status had brought to him. Moreover, since he was not familiar with some of the prophet's methods, if Deblo really died now, he has no way to directly pass on his prophetic inheritance to another cosmic ghost like the previous great prophet. So once he dies, the Cosmic Ghost clan can only wait for the prophet inheritance to choose a suitable candidate among their clansmen to make him a prophet. But this process can take anywhere from decades to thousands or even tens of thousands of years. At least, in the battle with the human race, the cosmic ghosts should not think about having a prophet's prediction to guide their direction. As for Deblo's seemingly cowardly approach, none of the cosmic ghosts present thought it was inappropriate, because now Deblo's identity as a prophet has been confirmed by them through the secret method unique to the Cosmic Ghost clan, so the great prophet naturally, you must try your best to ensure your own safety, otherwise once they lose the great prophet, the Cosmic Ghost clan will not be able to see their future. This will undoubtedly be a heavy blow to them in the Endless Tower. After hearing Deblo's words, Lu Wanting raised her head, looked at Deblo, suddenly smiled, and then said, "Which one are you asking? I have many people, and I can't tell you where they are all." Lu Wanting has now seen the metal building behind Deblo, and she guessed that it was probably the location of the mastermind, and the dense cosmic ghosts surrounding it also confirmed her thoughts from the side. But now she has found no trace of Wang Feng, and judging from the performance of these cosmic ghosts, their main brain has not been destroyed yet, so Lu Wanting can easily guess that Wang Feng must have been seriously injured before, so that until now, neither can destroy the mastermind of the cosmic ghost. Since this is the case, then I should buy some more time for Wang Feng. No matter whether it works or not, at least this is the only thing Lu Wanting can do now. You should know. Deblo stared at Lu Wanting's eyes and said, those beautiful eyes did not bring any emotional fluctuations to Deblo. Perhaps from the aesthetic point of view of the cosmic ghost, Lu Wanting's appearance may not be as beautiful as the zombies. After all, the appearance of the cosmic ghost family is somewhat similar to that of zombies with unbroken skin on their faces, but they are very different from the human race. What I want to know is the human who just rushed all the way to the 53rd floor alone. Deblo pointed to the floor above his head and said, "You'd better say it directly, otherwise, we will have to use our own methods. I think, as our old rival, you should know that our cosmic ghost family may make our food very uncomfortable when dining." Pain. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1169. Hearing Dabo Luo's words, Lu Wanting's face changed. She was not afraid of becoming the food of the cosmic ghost, but was worried about Wang Feng. Lu Wanting guessed that Wang Feng must be somewhere nearby. If the cosmic ghost just asked her questions, Wang Feng should not be impulsive, but once the cosmic ghost began to eat her vitality, Wang Feng would definitely rush out directly. Regardless of whether Wang Feng has recovered from his injuries, as long as he rushes out and saves himself, there will be absolutely no chance to destroy the main brain of the cosmic ghost again, and their mission will also be declared a failure. But Lu Wanting still wanted to help Wang Feng delay time, otherwise, although her combat awareness was not strong, at least she would not be captured. Lu Wanting still knew the way of self-explosion. The reason why she has not used self-explosion to die with the cosmic ghost until now is that she originally planned to see the situation first. If she can help Wang Feng and the others before she dies, it would be the best. However, Lu Wanting would never let her presence cause Wang Feng to rush out and thus destroy their actions to destroy the main brain. The human race before. Lu Wanting looked at Dabo Luo, and then immediately acted as if she suddenly realized something. "Oh. You are talking about our captain, right? He is a little taller than me, his hair is about the same length as mine, and he wears the same clothes as me. In order to delay time, Lu Wanting simply began to describe Wang Feng's image in detail. Anyway, the cosmic ghost already knew about this, and she was not afraid of leaking the secret no matter how much she said. Besides, Lu Wanting had no way to leak the secret now, because she really didn't know the exact location of Wang Feng and the others. Listening to Lu Wanting's description, Dabo Luo frowned. He felt that this human race seemed to have some purpose, but he couldn't think of it, because in the impression of the cosmic ghost, only their cosmic ghosts could use life energy to quickly restore their bodies. Human race? It seems that they don't have this ability, so Dabo Luo didn't think about it in that direction. Because if the human race lost their combat capability in the covering shooting just now, they would definitely not be able to recover now, so in Dapolo's cognition, the previous round of attacks at most caused the human race some minor injuries. So Apollo didn't know that Wang Feng had no ability to destroy their main brain at present, and still regarded Wang Feng as their biggest enemy at present, so he captured Lu Wanting and tried to use her to threaten Wang Feng. But the most important thing now is that if you want to threaten him, you must find him. How can you threaten him if you can't even find him? Do you have to talk to the air? Stop. After Lu Wanting described Wang Feng's appearance for 5 minutes, Dabo Luo finally gave up, because he suddenly realized that this human was stalling for time. Fortunately, the great prophet was dead now, otherwise, he would definitely regret why he left the prophetic inheritance of the cosmic ghost to such a guy. Listen carefully. We don't need to know his appearance, we already know that, we just want to know where this human is now. Dabo Luo pointed at the frozen image of Wang Feng on the screen and said to Lu Wanting. Yes, yes, yes. It's him. Looking at the image of Wang Feng, Lu Wanting nodded repeatedly and said. It's him. I came to find him. After entering your building, we lost contact, and then. Speaking of this, Lu Wanting suddenly couldn't continue. Although she wanted to say as much as possible to help Wang Feng and the others buy some time, but looking at Wang Feng holding the Xianyuan sword on the screen, Lu Wanting suddenly thought that this might be the last time she could see Wang Feng. She couldn't help but choke up for a while and couldn't say anything anymore. At this time, Wang Feng also saw Lu Wanting because of Qingxun's reminder. Wang Feng, who has the ability of the sky eye and can read lips, not only saw the scene below, but also heard their conversation clearly. From their conversation, Wang Feng certainly knew Lu Wanting's purpose. When he saw Lu Wanting stop talking because of seeing his own picture, Wang Feng almost drove the fighter plane directly down. He clearly saw the tears in Lu Wanting's eyes, and also saw the infinite attachment in Lu Wanting's eyes, but at this moment Feng forcibly controlled himself, so that the small fighter plane remained motionless in this corner. Wang Feng's face was full of tears, and he was whispering softly. Qingxun listened carefully and heard that Wang Feng repeated only one sentence over and over again. I am a soldier, I still have a mission. I am a soldier, I still have a mission. After hearing Wang Feng's words clearly, Qingxun couldn't help but turn her head away. After becoming a zombie, Qingxun once thought that zombies had no tears, but now. Qian on the other side had already burst into tears, but neither of them went to comfort Wang Feng, because, they didn't know what they were going to say. Human. I don't know why you want to delay time, but I warn you that our patience is limited, and, I have a good appetite now. Although Lu Wanting was in tears now, it was obviously of no effect on the cosmic ghost. Daburo looked at Lu Wanting impatiently and said that if he hadn't wanted to use this human to threaten the guy who posed the greatest threat to them, Daburo would have even used Lu Wanting as his food long ago. Okay. I'll tell you. Lu Wanting shook off the tears on her face, then looked directly at Daburo and said. He is on the 50th floor. I don't know the exact location. Search the 50th floor thoroughly immediately. Don't give up any corner. Staring carefully at Lu Wanting's eyes, Daburo felt that the woman should be telling the truth, so he immediately issued an order. Although the 50th floor had been carefully searched by the soldiers of the cosmic ghost, it was very likely that the human had a special way of hiding. It must be said that the cosmic ghost was the cosmic ghost, and he didn't understand the women of the human race at all. If he had lived among the human race for a long time like instructor Li Yingning, he should know that women's lies have always been able to deceive themselves. Daburo believed in his judgment very much, because there was such a sentence in the memory of the great prophet, "Eyes are the windows of the human soul." In his opinion, there was no evasion or fear in Lu Wanting's eyes, and she was quite calm. He didn't know that it was a kind of relief after putting everything down at the risk of death, but he just thought that this woman didn't lie. But he forgot that if Lu Wanting really told Wang Feng's location because he wanted to treat her as food, how could there be no fear in her eyes? In addition, let our soldiers on the 50th floor know. Shout on all levels, just say that his people are here, let him show up immediately, otherwise, we will treat his people as food. Daburo's order was immediately executed most thoroughly. Not only on the floors below the 50th floor, but also on the floors above the 50th floor, there were cosmic ghosts constantly shouting what Daburo had said before. Half an hour passed quickly, and Daburo's patience finally disappeared. On the 50th floor that Lu Wanting mentioned, no trace of the human race was found. While searching the 50th floor, the other floors were also turned upside down by the cosmic ghost, but no trace of the human race was found. Tell that human race. I will give him the last 5 minutes to let him come out immediately, otherwise, this human race will definitely experience long-lasting pain until he appears. Daburo ordered the cosmic ghosts behind him to give an ultimatum to the human race who was hiding somewhere now, and then stared at Lu Wanting, hoping to see something in her eyes. But the look of this human race made him feel very strange. From Lu Wanting's eyes, Daburo felt nostalgia, remembrance, and even happiness, but he did not find fear in her eyes. Perhaps because the cosmic ghosts did not have such complex emotions as the human race, it was difficult for Daburo to understand why so many emotions would appear in a person's eyes at the same time. However, Daburo did not want to figure it out thoroughly. He just wanted to know where the damned human race was. He even paid too much attention to Wang Feng's existence, and he actually forgot to use Lu Wanting's life to threaten the human race who were fighting with his people in the command hall. 5 minutes passed in a flash in Lu Wanting's happy memories, and Daburo finally gave up. He felt that the method of the great prophet did not work. Otherwise, no matter where Wang Feng was hiding, he should be able to hear what he said to him, and he should appear now. Since the words of the great prophet did not work, there was no need for this human race to stay. After a little hesitation, Daburo finally gave up the idea of doing it himself, and nodded to a cosmic ghost elite guard beside him, indicating that he would absorb Lu Wanting's vitality. Looking at the elite guard walking towards her, Lu Wanting smiled faintly, then raised her head and looked up. She didn't know where Wang Feng was now, but she felt that it seemed that her lover was watching her. Doomsday Special Forces. Author, Huanjing Chengzhu. Chapter 1170. Perhaps because she knew that this would be the last time the two of them looked at each other, Lu Wanting looked at the place where Wang Feng and the others were hiding. Looking at Lu Wanting's calm and gentle eyes, Qian couldn't help crying, and Qingxun turned to look at Wang Feng. If Wang Feng rushed down at this time, Qingxun would definitely not stop him. However, what surprised Qingxun was that Wang Feng's expression was also very calm at this time, and he had no intention of rushing down at all, just looking at Lu Wanting quietly. Looking at Wang Feng's calm expression, Qingxun suddenly had an ominous premonition in her heart, but now Qingxun didn't dare to speak, so she had to turn around and look at Lu Wanting again. Lu Wanting raised her head, smiled, and silently said something. She knew Wang Feng could read lips, so as long as Wang Feng could see her, he would be able to hear her last words. I tried my best. Come on, you must kill the cosmic ghost. Goodbye, my love. After saying this, Lu Wanting's body rushed forward, breaking free from the two cosmic ghosts holding her from behind, and then rushed directly towards Dabo Lugo, who was blocked behind the elite guards. Lu Wanting saw that among these cosmic ghosts, this guy should have the highest status. If she could drag him down with her when she died, it would be the best. But just as Lu Wanting rushed forward, it was seen that Lu Wanting seemed to want to attack Dabo Lugo. The members of the elite guards rushed forward and subdued Lu Wanting again, and Dabo Lugo immediately moved his body back a distance. Haha. It really doesn't work. Lu Wanting didn't feel surprised, she just laughed softly, and then... boom! A violent explosion sounded, and it turned out that Lu Wanting had directly launched a self-destruction after the failed raid on Dabolo. Those members of the Cosmic Ghost Elite Guard who surrounded Lu Wanting felt her intention before Lu Wanting self-destruct, but because they were behind their great prophet Dabolo, they didn't dare to dodge at all, so they had to protect their vital points and use their bodies to resist. Although the actual combat power is not very strong, Lu Wanting is a strong person close to the strength of the 11th level creature after all, so her self-destruction is definitely not small. Dabolo didn't expect that this human race would actually self-destruct, because generally if you don't want to be captured by the enemy, you should self-destruct directly when you are captured. Why wait until now? Moreover, the cosmic ghosts originally rely on life energy to live, so they have a unique way to control the enemy's self-explosion. Although this method cannot completely seal the life fluctuations of other creatures, it can at least extend the time for them to gather energy when they self-explode. When Lu Wanting was caught by them, she was of course restricted by this method to prevent her from hurting Dopolo. Unexpectedly, when this human self-exploded, their method seemed to have no effect at all. Lu Wanting's strength was actually basically improved by Wang Feng's potion, so her life energy is relatively easy to control. It stands to reason that the method of the cosmic ghost can indeed play the role it should have on her. Unfortunately, the cosmic ghost did not know that among the human race, there was also the devourer of instructor Li Yingning. Because he originally had the genes of the cosmic ghost in his body, the instructor had already studied the method of suppressing the cosmic ghost, so the cosmic ghost thought that they had prevented this human from self-exploding in a short time, but in fact it had no effect at all. Lu Wanting's self-explosion caused all the cosmic ghosts surrounding her to be severely damaged. The 5 or 6 elite guards in the innermost circle died directly, and the other dozen were also directly injured. However, it is obvious that the casualties of this number are not taken seriously by the cosmic ghosts, at least Dabo Lugo does not care much. Since he got the identity of the Great Prophet, Dabo Lugo has completely changed his attitude towards these elite guards that he used to look up to. This may be from the memories of the Great Prophet. So after Lu Wanting's self-explosion, Dabo Lugo, who was not injured because of the distance, just frowned and regretted that he had lost a hostage. But he immediately thought that now the trump card in his hand had exploded, so when the human race came, they seemed to have no choice but to use the human sea tactics to resist. If it really came to the most critical moment, they might have to use the indiscriminate shooting used before to stop the human race. If this is the case, then this layer does not look so safe. Dabo Lugo can't let himself stay in the area covered by shooting. Thinking of this, Dabo Lugo quickly called some guards, left the area where the main brain was, and came to a control room on the 55th floor, monitoring everything around the main brain on the screen. When Lu Wanting blew herself up, Wang Feng's body had been repaired to almost the knee position. In fact, at that time, Wang Feng was already able to fight, especially in Lu Wanting's eyes. Wang Feng had already guessed what she was going to do. But Wang Feng still did not rush out to rescue Lu Wanting. He knew that even if he rushed out, the chance of successfully saving Lu Wanting and taking her out of the Universe Ghost headquarters would not exceed 30%. And in this way, it means that their breakthrough plan this time has failed completely. If they want to destroy the main brain of the universe ghost, they can only find another opportunity. And there is another problem: how can the instructors leave here? Although Wang Feng can determine the location of the instructors through the communicator, he must first save Lu Wanting and take her out surrounded by dense universe ghosts, then find the instructors and finally leave together. The difficulty in the middle does not need to be calculated in detail. Wang Feng also knows how high it will be. Therefore, Wang Feng has made a decision in his heart now, that is, let Ting Ting go first. If she leaves, he will have no scruples. After his body recovers, he will do his best to destroy the main brain of the universe ghost. If he was still alive, he would try his best to take the instructor, Qin Xuan, and others away from here, and then lead the human race to completely eliminate the cosmic ghosts, help Lu Wanting to take revenge, and then, it would be time for him to meet Lu Wanting. However, although he had made a decision, when Lu Wanting really exploded into a ball of blood mist in front of Wang Feng's heart still twitched violently, and, for some reason, suddenly a strange energy entered Wang Feng's body. At the same time when the energy entered Wang Feng's body, a voice suddenly sounded in Wang Feng's mind. Alas! In the end, this scene still appeared. Since I promised to give her a chance, then, it's now. This is, son of a bitch, are you still alive? Die for me. Then, Wang Feng suddenly felt that his body was slowly filled with that strange energy, and then, his body that had not been repaired was also fully restored. After this energy repaired Wang Feng's body, a powerful energy suddenly burst out from Wang Feng's body, and Wang Feng could not control this huge energy at all. Boom! With a violent explosion, the small fighter plane where Wang Feng was located was blown to pieces by the huge energy impact. The explosion naturally alarmed the cosmic ghosts. They looked at the leftmost corner of the 55th floor together. There was a huge light ball floating there at this time. The huge life energy continued to expand and shrink as the light ball rotated. This is. Daburo stared at the light ball that was expanding and shrinking. Even in the memory of the great prophet, Daburo could not find the origin of this light ball. But at least it is certain that this light ball definitely does not belong to their cosmic ghost clan. Then, it is very likely that the missing human race is probably what kind of powerful attack he is brewing. Shoot! Everyone focus on that light ball. Daburo suddenly reacted and shouted loudly. No matter what this light ball is, it must be killed. Daburo now even has a premonition in his heart that this light ball is likely to destroy their cosmic ghost clan. Following Daburo's order, all the cosmic ghosts on the 55th floor, whether small fighters or ground troops, immediately began to attack the light ball. Countless energy beams were continuously shot out from the beam guns in the hands of small fighters and cosmic ghost infantry and entered the light ball. But the light ball behaved very strangely. Although it was shot by countless energy beams, it did not seem to change at all. It continued to grow larger and smaller, as if those energy beams did not exist at all. The shooting of the cosmic ghosts continued. Because the energy source was prepared in advance, the energy of those small fighters could be directly replenished. Moreover, because there was no order from Daburo, although it seemed that the shooting had no effect, all the cosmic ghosts still stubbornly shot energy beams at the light ball. After the shooting lasted for about 15 minutes, the light ball finally changed. It suddenly shrank to a diameter of less than 2 meters. Then, a strong white light burst out, covering the entire 55th floor.